Hi, so this is the presentation that I have been asked to prepare in order to be accepted for my doctorate in psychoanalysis and clinical practice, and is about dream interpretation. So let's begin. What do Sigmund Freud and a flying drone have in common? If now you're expecting for a punchline, I'm sorry to disappoint you. In this presentation, I will discuss dream analysis, focusing on personal experience and experimenting with the interpretation of one of my dreams. A bit of historical background. I have been attempting to interpret my own dreams regularly since April 2020. Noting down the ones that I found particularly significant, and of course the ones I could remember. I've noted them down in a notebook that I keep at my bedside. It is appropriate to provide some historical background. Freud's book, The Interpretation of Dreams, is published in 1900. Although today this work is widely considered his most enlightened psychoanalytical contribution, the book actually did not sell for 8 years. Freud proposed that interpreting dream material can assist the analysis of the unconscious. In fact, he believed dreams to be the result of two main mental processes: unconscious forces, which are mostly wish fulfillment, and repression. As much as repression operates in waking life, for Freud it does also censor wishes in dreams that are considered unacceptable in their raw form, and are therefore disguised by the psyche during sleep through a process of symbolization. What is their residue? Freud calls manifested content the surface narrative of the dream, or the story that the dream recounts in a literal sense, while instead the latent content is the underlying or unconscious meaning of the dream. So the dream is almost on two levels, as two layers. What we can see in the dream itself, the story, and the latent content, or what the story really means. Another important element worth mentioning at this stage is what Freud called their residue. Their residue or their residues are mnemonic traces from the waking life of the subject who is dreaming, reworked by the unconscious during sleep. The residue enters dream process, so enters the dream, and can become an important symbolic element that speaks about the psychic life of the dreamer, as I will proceed to illustrate through the self-analysis of one of my dreams. The drone dream. A week ago, on a sunny Sunday afternoon, I was lying on the grass in Finsbury Park in London with my partner. Suddenly, we spot a drone flying high in the sky. We looked at it for probably less than 30 seconds. The event seemed to me pretty ordinary and almost irrelevant. I did not think about the drone anymore after that brief sighting. On Monday morning, I awoke, and while checking my email inbox, I've noticed the invitation to attend this very interview from Exeter University. It was required of me to complete various tasks. Preparing this presentation was one of them. I recall feeling very anxious about my ability to complete these tasks, given the limited time at my disposal. and the fact that I would also have to work most of the week. I went to bed, and when I woke up on Tuesday morning, I have noted down a dream. Actually, just a fragment of it was all I could remember. I dreamed about piloting a drone to a remote control. Initially, I was feeling very unsure about guiding the drone in the sky. But after a brief adjustment to the controls, I quickly became more comfortable in piloting it. Now I will interpret this dream. I believe that the drone dream reflects my wish to positively resolve the state of anxiety I have felt precipitated into when learning about the interview. So, the day residue element of the drone itself, with its ability to levitate above the ground, symbolizes the confidence I was seeking in order to overcome the anxiety and successfully complete the tasks assigned to me. The remote control in particular could be speaking about the fact that I knew that I would be attending the interview remotely through technological means, online, on Zoom. In my drone dream, we see the unconscious at work, taking elements sometimes seemingly irrelevant, like the drone, from our waking life and repurposing them for wish fulfillment through symbolization. And now I just want to offer a final quote. The quote is for Jordan Peterson. It was a lecture that I saw on YouTube, and I want to add a disclaimer. I don't usually follow, necessarily like or quote Peterson, but the quote I'm about to read to you came up when I was preparing the presentation, and I thought it was very appropriate. The dream is the birthplace of thought. Your mind is groping outwards to try to comprehend what has not yet comprehended, and it does that by first trying to map it onto image. And it is somewhat incoherent because it's not yet a fully fledged thought. It's a fantasy about what might be. If you can take this fantasy and share it with other people, maybe they can elaborate upon it and bringing it into being with more clarity than it would be if merely existed as the precursor of a thought in your imagination. So I think that this quote also connects well with the idea of dream thinking and transformative thinking in the Ogden essay I was assigned to read. This was an essay that the university asked me to read and write a 500-word summary about it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I wish you a good life.